The air is thick with the questions we all wrestle with. How do we stay calm when emotions flare? Can ancient wisdom guide modern love? Picture yourself standing on a shaky bridge, your partner on the other side, and finding the inner steel to stay balanced. From the very first moment, this journey strips away the noise. No gimmicks, no quick fixes, just timeless principles to help you navigate conflict, cultivate empathy, and build resilience together. We'll walk step by step through Stoic thought, unveiling how patience, self-awareness, and emotional mastery can transform arguments into opportunities for deeper connection. You glimpse a terse message on your screen and feel your pulse spike. Words blur as anxiety claws at your mind. In this split second, Stoicism offers a lifeline. Pause. Notice the tightness in your chest. Observe the racing thoughts, then refuse to unleash them immediately. That brief stillness, that single conscious breath, is your power. Instead of firing off a reactionary reply, you inhale, finding grounding in the present. You remind yourself that another's anger often speaks to their own pain, not your value. Exhaling, you let go of judgment. In that composed silence, you open space for honest dialogue. Mastery begins with breath. Each inhale reclaims your center. Each exhale releases tension. Your calm response becomes a beacon of understanding, inviting connection where chaos once threatened. A surge of frustration bubbles when plans derail. Rain cancels your weekend getaway, or a missed call feels like rejection. In that moment, Stoicism teaches you to view external events as neither good nor bad, but as neutral facts awaiting your judgment. You catch yourself teetering on the edge of disappointment and consciously choose a different lens. This rain becomes an invitation to cozy at home, that missed call a chance to reach out later with warmth instead of accusation. You recognize that your emotions spring not from events themselves, but from the stories your mind spins around them. By reshaping those stories, you dismantle the power frustration holds over you. Each time you pause to reframe, you strengthen an inner muscle, turning setbacks into calm reflections rather than emotional avalanches. This reframing isn't denial, it's empowerment. You stay steady amid life's twists, fostering resilience that anchors your relationship in mutual support and understanding. Late at night, you sit across from your partner, their eyes heavy with worry. Words tumble out. Fears about work, doubts about the future. Your instinct urges you to fix, to offer solutions. Stoicism, however, invites you to simply listen. You lean in, silence filling the space between sentences, letting every pause speak volumes. In this stillness, you practice empathetic presence. You mirror their tone, gently summarizing. It sounds like you're feeling overwhelmed by. Each phrase confirms you're truly hearing them, validating emotions without judgment or interruption. You resist the urge to interject your own story. Through active listening, you create a sanctuary where vulnerability thrives. Your partner relaxes, knowing their inner world is honored. In return, your bond deepens, built on mutual respect and understanding. You plan a cozy dinner, but halfway through, your partner's phone buzzes incessantly. Frustration flares. This was supposed to be special. Stoicism reminds you that true harmony arises from equilibrium between unity and self. You pause before reacting, acknowledging your desire for connection and their obligations beyond this moment. In that pause, you choose equanimity. You gently suggest a brief break to address the call, then reconvene when attention can be fully shared. You honor both your needs, the warmth of togetherness, and the space for individual pursuits. By embracing this balance, you sidestep resentment. You treat your time together as valuable yet flexible, recognizing that freedom and closeness aren't opposing forces but complementary virtues. You walk hand in hand through a sunlit park, laughter echoing between you. A fleeting moment, you think, but awareness of its transience sharpens its beauty. Stoicism teaches that all things pass: joy, sorrow, even the bonds we cherish. By holding this truth gently in your heart, you learn to appreciate each second without clinging to eternality. When worries creep, fear that this happiness might slip away, you pause and reflect on impermanence. You share a knowing smile, acknowledging life's ebb and flow. Instead of grasping for endless bliss, you savor the present with full attention. This practice doesn't darken your joy, it deepens it. You love more fully because you recognize every shared glance is a gift. In relationships, this mindful gratitude weaves harmony, reminding you that connection thrives not on possession, but on the freedom to cherish moments as they unfold. You're stuck in traffic, running late for a date night. Your partner's disappointment seeps through the phone, frustration surges. Stoicism offers a clear distinction. Focus only on what you can control. You cannot part the cars ahead, but you can choose your attitude and your next words. You take a breath and own your responsibility, letting your partner know you're safe and committed to making the evening special. Delays aside, by accepting the situation and adjusting expectations, you calm both your own mind and theirs. This practice of separating worries from actions frees you from needless tension. You invest energy where it matters, in honest communication and creative problem-solving, rather than in futile resentment. In relationships, embracing what you can change and releasing what you can't becomes a pathway to mutual peace. Morning light filters through the curtains, and before your mind races into to-do lists, you take a moment with your partner, eyes closed, breathing in unison, and name one thing you appreciate about each other. It could be their unwavering support, the way they make coffee just right, or the honest laugh that brightens your day. Stoicism isn't about grand gestures, it's about noticing the small wonders. By sharing gratitude daily, you recalibrate your focus toward what you cherish instead of what's missing. When frustrations arise later, the sink left unwashed or a forgotten text, you have a reservoir of goodwill to draw upon. This practice doesn't erase conflict, but it shades it in perspective. Your relationship becomes defined, not by occasional strife, but by constant appreciation. Over time, these little acknowledgements weave a tapestry of trust and positivity, reminding both of you why you chose each other in the first place. A tense silence hangs after a disagreement over weekend plans. Rather than stewing, you pick up a journal that Stoics call the evening reflection. You write down what happened, how you felt, and what values guided your reactions. This practice turns chaos into clarity. By putting pen to paper, you detach from the heat of the moment and view your emotions with curiosity. You notice patterns. Perhaps you lash out when you feel unheard, or retreat when you need support. Journaling isn't confession, it's investigation. You ask yourself, what could I control here? Where did I stray from my best self? Then you draft intentions for tomorrow, to listen first, to speak calmly, to forgive quickly. Each entry becomes a roadmap for growth, both for you and your partnership. Sharing selected reflections invites transparency and trust, turning individual insight into shared wisdom. Dawn breaks, and you rise before your partner, slipping out for a silent walk. With each step, you practice morning meditation, Grounding yourself in intention, you reflect on the day ahead, silently asking, how can I act with virtue today? How can I show kindness without expectation? Returning home, you share a quiet moment over coffee, speaking your intentions aloud. This ritual aligns both of you before the day's noise begins. When stress later intrudes, deadline pressures, unexpected errands, you tap back into that morning resolve, remembering the calm clarity you set together. By dedicating the first moments to shared purpose, you build a buffer against life's unpredictability. Your relationship becomes not just reactive, but proactive, a partnership founded on conscious choice and mutual support. A tense disagreement flares when you and your partner clash over household chores. Anger simmers, but Stoicism guides you to remember the virtue of fairness. You pause, silently asking, what is just here? What would a fair partner do? Instead of accusing or withdrawing, you speak calmly. I understand deadlines have been tough. Let's divide tasks so it feels balanced. You propose a rotating schedule, grounded in mutual respect rather than blame. By centering fairness, you transform conflict into collaboration. Both of you feel heard and valued rather than penalized. This approach not only resolves the immediate issue, but sets a precedent. Challenges are not battlegrounds, but opportunities to practice virtue together. Late evening, a heated topic surfaces: politics, money, the future. Words threaten to spill like hot embers. Stoicism reminds you that true strength lies in measured speech. You pause, feeling the urge to lash out, and instead ask yourself, will this build harmony or burn bridges? You choose restraint. Rather than a sharp retort, you offer a thoughtful question. Help me understand why you feel this way. Your tone is calm, curiosity, replacing confrontation. In that moment, you transform potential conflict into a bridge for conversation. By mastering your tongue, you model respect and openness. Your partner sees your willingness to listen and mirror that behavior. Speech becomes a tool for connection, not destruction. You arrive early for a shared appointment, but your partner runs late. Frustration bubbles, minutes feel like hours. Stoicism offers a remedy: patience as active practice. You notice the tension rising and remind yourself that time itself is neutral. Only your judgment turns waiting into irritation. Instead of fuming, you breathe and observe your thoughts without judgment. You choose to occupy the moment. Scroll through a book, send a light-hearted message, or simply watch the world unfold. When your partner finally appears, you greet them with warmth rather than reproach. This calm reception honors both their circumstances and your own composure. You demonstrate that arriving together is more meaningful than arriving on time. In relationships, patience becomes a gift you give each other, proof that love values presence over punctuality. You're hit with unexpected news. A promotion at work means longer hours and less time together. Disappointment tugs at your chest. Stoicism teaches amor fati, loving whatever fate brings. You pause and reframe this change as an opportunity rather than a setback. You tell your partner the news and share your mixed emotions honestly. Then you propose new rituals, an early morning coffee ritual, or weekly after-hours walks, to preserve connection rather than resisting the demands of life. You embrace them, confident that adapting together strengthens your bond. By welcoming life's twists, you cultivate flexibility and gratitude. You affirm that growth often arrives wrapped in challenge. In relationships, this acceptance becomes a shared creed. Whatever comes your way, you face it as a united front, turning unforeseen trials into moments of deeper unity. A misunderstanding surfaces when you realize a promise slipped your mind. An anniversary dinner forgotten. Guilt and defensiveness clash within you. Stoicism teaches that self-forgiveness is as vital as asking for it from others. You pause and acknowledge your error without self-condemnation, recognizing that human fallibility is universal. You approach your partner with honest vulnerability. "I'm sorry I let this slip. I value us more than any date on the calendar." You offer a genuine plan to make amends, a spontaneous evening walk under the stars, or recreating the missed celebration at home. In this act of contrition, you model responsibility and compassion. Your partner sees your humility and responds with empathy rather than reproach. Through shared forgiveness, you transform a mistake into an opportunity for deeper trust. By practicing forgiveness, both for yourself and each other, you dissolve resentment and reinforce the resilience of your bond. You and your partner decide to tackle a new project together, repainting your living room. As you unpack brushes and colors, small disagreements emerge: which shade, which technique. Frustration flares. Stoicism guides you to focus on the shared goal, not individual preferences. You pause and ask, what outcome do we both truly want? You listen as they describe the feeling they hope to evoke: warmth, brightness, welcome. You share your own vision. Together you find a compromise, a soft hue that balances both your ideas. Throughout the work, you check in regularly. How does this feel? Do we need a break? This ongoing dialogue turns potential conflict into collaborative creativity. Each stroke of the brush becomes a practice in cooperation and mutual respect. By approaching joint endeavors with patience and open communication, you transform chores into opportunities for unity. You learn that partnership isn't about uniformity, but about weaving diverse strengths into a cohesive whole. You sense a tension brewing, an upcoming family gathering known for clashing opinions. Your partner's anxiety rises, mirroring your own. Stoicism offers negative visualization, envisioning possible frustrations before they occur, so you're not blindsided. Together you imagine worst-case scenarios: a heated debate, offhand remarks, awkward silences, and discuss how you'll remain composed. You agree on hand signals when one needs a quiet exit or a quick stroll. By walking through the challenges in advance, you diffuse their power. When the gathering arrives and a sharp comment lands, you're prepared. You catch your partner's eye, exchange a supportive nod, and step back to breathe. The moment still stings, but your pre-planned pause prevents escalation. This practice doesn't eliminate discomfort, but it transforms surprise into readiness. In relationships, negative visualization becomes a shield forged in partnership, arming you both to face life's storms with steady hearts. On a quiet Sunday morning, you notice your partner's favorite snack on sale at the corner store. Without mentioning, you pick up 2 packs, one for now, one just because. Later they find the extra on their desk, a small surprise that sparks genuine delight. Stoicism teaches that virtue shines brightest in unprompted action. You learn that offering kindness without expectation strengthens bonds more than grand declarations. Each thoughtful gesture, making tea before sunrise, leaving an encouraging note, stepping in to tackle an errand, becomes an exercise in selflessness. You act not for praise, but because it aligns with your values of care and generosity. Over time, these tiny deposits of goodwill accumulate into deep trust. Your partner begins to mirror the behavior, and a gentle cycle of consideration takes root. In relationships, virtue isn't just spoken, it's lived in the everyday. You notice tension rising whenever difficult topics come up. Stoicism teaches the practice of disciplined assent. You don't automatically accept every impression or impulse. Tonight, you invite your partner to share candid feedback, what you do well, what you could improve. As they speak, you listen without interrupting or defending. You observe your first instinct to deflect or justify, then consciously withhold it. You focus on understanding rather than rebuttal. After they finish, you pause, process their words, and respond with gratitude. Thank you for this perspective. I'll reflect on how I can do better. By treating feedback as a gift rather than a threat, you cultivate an atmosphere of mutual growth. Your partner sees your genuine openness and reciprocates when you later request their input. Over time, honest conversations become less daunting and more deeply connected. A friend invites you both to an all-night party. Your partner looks torn between socializing and rest. Stoicism teaches the importance of healthy boundaries. You owe it to yourself and each other to protect your well-being. You pause and discuss your needs openly. You agree that one late night won't break the bond, but two in a row will undermine your energy and patience. Together you set a limit. Stay until midnight, then return home to recharge. At the gathering, playful guilt tugs at you both, but you uphold your agreement. You slip away at the agreed hour and spend the last hour in quiet reflection together, grateful for the balance you've created. By honoring boundaries, you demonstrate respect for yourselves, for each other, and for the relationship itself. This shared discipline deepens trust, teaching you that self-care and mutual care walk hand in hand. Late one evening, you and your partner find yourselves at a crossroads, conflicting priorities about saving versus spending. Stoicism reminds you to anchor decisions in shared values rather than fleeting desires. You pause and revisit the principles you both hold dear: security, freedom, adventure. You map out a simple plan, allocate a set percentage of income to savings, another to shared experiences, and a small fund for individual treats. You discuss potential scenarios, unexpected expenses, dream vacations, and agree on adjustments ahead of time. By aligning your financial choices with mutual values, you transform money talk from a source of tension into a collaborative exercise in planning your future. Each decision becomes an affirmation of your partnership's goals, rather than a battleground of competing impulses. This practice not only secures your finances, but also strengthens trust, because you both know that every budget reflects your deepest commitments to each other. A sudden illness sidelines one of you with flu-like symptoms. Caregiving beckons, but exhaustion and frustration lurk beneath the surface. Stoicism advises acting from duty and compassion, not from fleeting emotion. You remind yourself that kindness isn't contingent on convenience. You prepare a warm broth, offer a quiet space to rest, and check in gently throughout the day. When fatigue clouds your patience, you take brief moments to recharge, stepping outside for fresh air or practicing a quick breathing exercise so you can return to care with presence. By serving each other in vulnerability, you embody the Stoic ideal of mutual aid. Your partner senses your steady support, fostering a profound gratitude that strengthens love's foundation. A lazy Sunday stretches before you, and the temptation to overindulge surfaces, hours lost in streaming, overeating comfort foods. You glimpse the fatigue in each other's eyes the next morning and feel a tinge of regret. Stoicism teaches temperance, the disciplined choice to moderate pleasures for long-term well-being. You pause before reaching for that extra slice, or clicking play next episode. You ask yourselves, will this choice serve our health and energy tomorrow? Together, you propose a simple pact: balance enjoyment with activity. After one more episode, you stretch and take a brisk walk. Alongside a shared fruit and yogurt bowl, you talk about goals for the week. By practicing moderation as a team, you reinforce self-control and mutual accountability. You transform fleeting cravings into conscious choices, aligning daily habits with values of health and presence. In relationships, temperance becomes a shared virtue that sustains both body and bond. You find yourselves in a heated debate about future plans, moving cities, career shifts, life goals. Emotions surge as each perspective vies for priority. Stoicism teaches collaborative decision-making rooted in shared purpose. You pause and revisit your core values, listing them aloud: growth, stability, adventure, community. Together, you map how each option aligns with these values. You weigh pros and cons calmly, asking which path honors both our aspirations. Rather than allowing the louder voice to dominate, you take turns speaking while the other listens fully, then summarize what you heard before responding. This disciplined exchange turns potential stalemate into synergistic planning. By centering dialogue on mutual values and practicing respectful turn-taking, you transform big decisions into opportunities for unity. Each outcome reflects not one person's vision, but the partnership's collective soul. A sudden opportunity arises. A last-minute weekend retreat invites spontaneity, but clashes with your meticulously planned schedule. Doubt flickers should you seize adventure or honor routine. Stoicism teaches flexibility within structure. You pause and reflect on your shared purpose. Growth through new experiences, balanced by the stability you've built. You agree to adjust your plans, carving out a smaller retreat window that won't derail important commitments. You view this compromise not as a sacrifice, but as an exercise in harmonious adaptation. As you embark on the abbreviated getaway, you remain present, unplugged from schedules, yet mindful of your promises. Each moment of exploration is tempered by gratitude for the stability waiting at home. This practice of flexible planning shows that true resilience lies in your ability to honor both change and continuity. In relationships, adaptability isn't chaos. It's the art of weaving new threads into your existing tapestry without unraveling what you've created together. A wave of stress settles over your partner: work deadlines, family worries, life's relentless pace. Words of reassurance feel hollow. Stoicism teaches that true support often arises from silent solidarity. You close your laptop, sit beside them, and simply offer your presence. Your hand on theirs, eyes meeting in understanding, speaks louder than any advice. In that quiet moment, you resist the urge to fill the space with solutions or distractions. Instead, you mirror their breathing, anchoring them in the present. You embody compassion through shared stillness, letting them know they are not alone in whatever storm they face. Over time, these moments of intentional togetherness become a bedrock for resilience. Your partner learns that vulnerability need not be met with words but with unwavering presence. In relationships, silent solidarity becomes a profound act of love, showing that sometimes the greatest gift is simply being there. As the sun sets on our journey, you and your partner stand together, fortified by every breath, reflection, and quiet gesture you've shared. You've learned to pause before reacting, reframe disappointments, listen without judgment, and find strength in impermanence. You've built rituals of gratitude, mapped decisions to shared values, and practiced compassion in both word and silence. Now these lessons live beyond this moment. In the ebb and flow of daily life, let Stoic wisdom be your compass, guiding you back to balance whenever storms arise. Remember that each choice to respond with virtue, however small, weaves an ever stronger thread in the fabric of your bond. If this exploration of Stoicism in modern love has resonated, join our community, subscribe for more insights, share your own experiences in the comments, and hit the bell so you never miss a step on this path together. Here's to steady hearts and unbreakable connections. Let's continue growing side by side.